Hi guys, Misa here. Hopefully everyone has a chance to try out the new Awaken patch. Now, I have noticed that many people are rerolling to Lightning, and I feel I am more or less responsible for that. So I would like to use this video to talk about PvE Lightning min-maxing. Since this video is about min-maxing instead of gearing or how to play, I will assume you already have a basic understanding of Lightning BM in general. Lightning BM really only takes off once you have TT8 set because it boosts LB and C by 70%. This alone will increase your DPS by 10%. If you don't have TT8 set, you will probably find Fire better, and some of the min-max that we'll talk about will not apply. You should also have the Starbreaker bracelet for the bonus to C. Soul badge wise, I will focus on Ancestral. I won't talk about Undying because it feels very counterintuitive at this point. As for the new Songbird badge and its eventual fuse of Courage, my first impression is that it's not flexible enough for Soul Sync, but we will see once it becomes fusible, assuming we haven't all re-rolled to the third spec by then. Let's talk about talents. 1-1 boosts LB base damage by 30% and RB base damage by 10%. Base damage means it gets applied before everything else. As a result, the 30% boost to LB will get further boosted by 170% from TT8 set, whereas the 10% boost to RB will first get smushed out by Weapon and Bracelet's flat modifier before boosted by Soul Shield. Feel free to pause the video to let that sink in for a bit. 1-2 doesn't really do much once you have over 300% crit damage. 2-1 gives you more heals on Shoulder Charge and Cyclone. You shouldn't really need any of it. 2-3 gives you longer flash step, longer SS, and longer QE cast range. It is really personal preference which one you want to spec for. The standard SS into 2 iframe is slightly slower if you spec for 2-3. Here is a short SS-2. Now let me change my skills. And here is a long SS-2. So just a little bit slower. 3-1 is Party Half-Moon Block. 3-3 is Resettable Solo Block and reduces V cooldown by 5 seconds on every resist. This is amazing, especially if you can bring V back in 36 seconds to sync with the third Soul proc and the second Half-Moon Focus proc. 4-1 and 4-2 changes your CCs. The real difference is whether you want to have a stun, or KD, and draft stance because X is all you have access to. Finally, for the last roll, you definitely want 5-3 for the red flicker and the new C. Any talents that I didn't talk about are PvP talents, and I won't be going into them. Skill points. The only ones worth considering are LB, RB, Tab, C, and Awakened RB. The key thing to understand here is that these percent bonuses work as if they are soul shields. For example, 5 points in Tab give you 10%, then you add it to a 250% from TT8 set, the 30% from TT Year Ring, and the base 100%. So these 5 points change your Tab modifier from 380% to 390%, which is only a 2.6% increase. On the other hand, if I put 5 points in C, I get 25%. Now C only gains 70% from TT8 set, and so these 5 points change my C modifier from 170% to 195%, which is a 14.7% increase. Looking at my own parses, I would gain 3% from RB, 1% from LB, 1% from C, and 0.3% from Tab. So the optimal setup would be 5 points in RB, LB, and C. For Soul Burn, I would put 5 points in RB, LB, and Awakened RB. Next, Half-Moon points. Basically the question here is how many points in Half-Moon Focus. Unless you're choosing the cooldown to be less than 36 seconds with Solo Block, Half-Moon Focus syncs horribly with anything, so you're better off going for the maximum AP bonus and leave the rest in Half-Moon Focus. In my case, that would be 135 in AP and 10 in Half-Moon Focus. The only place I really get to choose V cooldown is Mao and Kodrak in which case I go for 125 in AP and 20 in Hanwon Focus. Okay, I think that's all about items and stats. Now let's talk about rotational min-maxing. I will start with the most impactful, and that is how to use C. Now C gets boosted by Bracelet, so you want to use it while Bracelet is still active. Normally, after Tab, your next 6 RBs are boosted, so now instead, you want to count 5 RBs and then use C. Let me get my 10 LBs ready. Okay, now Tab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Z. Now if you look at the combat log, it didn't crit at all. Nice game. You see, this bonus damage you see applies only to the first hit, so all you have to do is to start C while Bracelet is still active. You do, however, want to have the entire C be in Soul. The full cast has an AP modifier of 195 over 1.2 seconds. In comparison, 2 sets of anti-cancels that are boosted by Bracelet take about the same time and have an AP modifier of 97.6. If you have Lightning Draw available, then you can take advantage of the level 60 passive by using 4C. Next big thing is when to use Blade Call. The number one priority here is weapon stack. Getting a reset of Blade Call allows you to use Tab X, Tab 3, Tab B again. If Blade Call is off cooldown, but if you have very little weapon stack, you don't have to use it right away. You can just do your normal rotation while waiting for stacks. Two stacks is not very good. Ideally, you want 3 or more. Okay, I have 3 now, but my soul time is not good, so I will wait for the next soul cycle. By that, I mean about now. Okay, I go into V, and I see a reset coming, so that means I get to Tab X, Tab 3, Tab B again. Now what do I mean by the next soul cycle? Blade Call lasts for 14 seconds, and Soul lasts for 10 seconds. So you have a 4-second window for maximum Soul sync. You can use it anytime when Soul is coming back in less than 4 seconds. If you have 8 seconds Soul, then it doesn't matter as much, because at best you're getting 8 seconds, and at worst you're getting 6 seconds. You also want Tab to be available when you use V, so you can immediately do V Tab. If you really need to use Blade Call and your Tab is not ready, then what you can do is VCV Tab. If Tab is still not up, then you have messed up somewhere earlier. Remember also that you can't use a new C while in Blade Call, so if you're planning to get a reset in Blade Call, you should use C beforehand. Ideally, you would have already used C to fish for weapon stacks. I would also use my Talisman at the same time as my Blade Call, so I would go V, activate, and continue my rotation. When you're ready in Blade Call, you get cooldown reductions from Tab for every RB, so you want to stack Tab as much as possible. If you want a little bit more min-maxing, you can use Tab 3, Tab B without Soul, and Tab X, Tab with Soul. The main reason is that using 3 puts X and RB on GCD. Even though using Tab right after 3 seems to remove this GCD, for example, it looks like the GCD on RB is gone, but it is still there. So that's why for openers, we do V tab X tab 3 tab B instead of V tab 3 tab X tab. See, X doesn't even come out. That's because X is still under GCD number 3. Because I can't use RB right away, we follow tab 3 tab with Swirling Scourge D. Speaking of the RB GCD, the proper way to use 3 outside of Blade Call is tab into 6 sets of anti-cancel and then 3 LB tab. Let me show it again. Tab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 LB tab. If you happen to resist with 3, then LB turns into Cyclone. You don't really want that to happen, so you can either disable Cyclone or let 3 take one more time for safer iframe and then tab right away. The next min-max point is a basic current rotation. When to use Z and whether to start anti-cancel with LB or RB. A lot of the fire rerolls tend to use Z toward the end of tab culmination. This couldn't be more wrong with lightning. In fact, you shouldn't do that with fire either, but that's just me. With lightning, you want to use Z as early as possible. You can even tab Z right away. I generally find it more stable after 1 or 2 sets of anti-cancel. As for LB first or RB first, it matters a lot less now that LB and RB are on separate GCD. If you start with RB, oh, I did LB first there. If you start with RB, there's a chance the tab was ready, but I wasn't able to use it, so you end up spending 0.3 seconds extra to use another RB that is not boosted by Bracelet. That's not really worth it. Another reason to use Z as early as possible is that if you use Z very early, you can follow with 3 and C, and your Z will be back. Let me show you. So tab, Z, then tab again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, into tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, LB tabs. Now you see Z is basically up, so I can use it again into tab, and then I can continue my fulmination with 4 for ulti. Weapon is about to reset. But really, if I have Blade Call at this point, I should go into Blade Call and hope for a reset. And I did get one. I should also use this opportunity to show one more thing, which is I am getting a reset now, but it is very dangerous to do 3 tab B because this could happen. So instead, I should just do tab X, tab B, and save 3 for later. As for when you want to use Lightning Draw, ideally I want to use it for its crit buff. The best case scenario is to use 4 tab as soul starts, then C into tab, then 3 into tab. So let me set this up. Basically getting the 10 flickers so that I can use C. Oh, I gotta reset. Okay, so I will use 4 tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, LB, tab. The point here is I have 3 tabs and 1 soul. The final thing to talk about is what just happened. What to do with weapon resets. Some people prefer to wait out the bracelet. I prefer to just tab right away and not worry about the bracelet. Quickly getting to the next reset is the name of the game, so I'm using tab right away for more hits. If I am feeling extra brave, I will do 4 tab instead.
A clan member has connected to the server.
So it is a lot of watching your resets. You need to keep in mind what combos are available and how long they take, so best take advantage of resets. A lot of that will just come from spending hours in F12. Okay, I think that covers all of the min-maxes. I hope it gives you a better idea how to lightning VM. Thank you for watching, and good luck with training. See you guys on 3rd spec release.